For this video, we're going to show you how to set up the Insight RMM integration. Starting off, we're going to go to the Admin tab, then into Integrations, and we're going to find it right here under PSA and RMM. Clicking into this, these are the items that we're going to need to find: the server name, API key, and then selecting where these items from Insight will be placed within Hudu. Now, we're going to find out where exactly to find these items within Insight in a moment, but first we're going to select where we want these to be inserted. Our sites in our case are going to be some clients, and then we have our server, and we have our Mac server here, workstations being our desktops, and then mobile devices as mobile devices. Of course, these are unique to our instance. You might have yours named a little bit differently, but to start you off, it's good to make sure that you have these set beforehand and ready for the sync. Now we're going to switch over to Insight to show you where to find the server name and the API key. Now we're within Insight, and we're going to find that server name and the API key that we're going to be using to finish the integration. So in this case, we're going to go to Settings, General Settings, and then finding the API right here. So what we're going to be looking for is a server name, which can be found by inputting our email to this spot here. Now we have our email in there, and then we're going to email that token. After it's sent, we're going to hit OK and save that information. So we now have that email. So I'm going to navigate over to my email and input that information as is. Here we are now. We have our information inputted exactly as the email was sent to us. So I'm going to scroll down, save those settings, and then run our first test connection. We should do this every time before we start our sync to make sure that the information will come in properly. If this does fail, make sure that you have all the information coming exactly as the credentials were sent to you. Now that we have that set, I'm going to start the sync. We're going to let that information come in and pause and give it a moment. Skipping forward a little bit, we now have our one unmatched company. So this is what we're bringing in. On the left side, this comes from our integration. On the right, this is the name suggested to us by Hudu. In this case, we already have a company called Hudu Demo, so I can just accept that match. But if you do not have the company already, Hudu will create one for you and sync the data into there. If you have multiple companies coming in, we can bulk create and match all and have that organized for us. But in this case, I just have the one, so I'm going to hit accept. We have that company matched, so we're going to go back and restart our sync. We're going to give it a moment again, and then we're going to refresh in a second to make sure that we have that information coming in. It might take a moment for info to come in, especially if you have large amounts of data, so this might take several minutes as we're syncing in all of the information. Now we have everything come in, and you can see exactly what's being brought. We do have our Hudu client and company name all set, syncing in within Hudu. If you have any more questions or comments, please feel free to reach out below. We are more than happy to answer any and all questions.